Okay, so it looks like YouTube's back up, but it's not giving me a feed. Oy. You would think that it would be just as simple as that, but no, it's not. Okay, there we go. It looks like it's caught up now. Okay, looks like it's back up, ready to go. Good. I can't figure out how to make it just work immediately as it should, but yes, we're getting there. Where do their loyalties rest?
You'd want to ask the authority, Sage Quillborn. She lived with the Kolakar for a few span back in 404. Some truly fascinating findings. She noted that every successful tribe has a singular female leader. It's Prima. She noted that beastmen show fluid loyalty to new matrons. They adapt well to changing leaders, but they never change the relatively simple but strict hierarchical model. Few beastmen have accepted fealty to Kairos. It would seem the notion of bowing to a person you have not seen in the flesh is insanity. This inability to bow to the Overlord will no doubt doom the species, for Kairos does not suffer such token insults.
Speak of something
I
else.
know everything, except for who's been said.
Oh, Wheel of Ages. Okay. Fatebinder and Latch work together to create a slowing aura around a party member. Foes within range of the aura are slowed. Cool. Okay. East woman squats on her haunches, back bowed and face tilted forward. She particularly grooms between the long calloused fingers of one paw. Mauve tongue, laves blood from her glistening claw. She glances up, a jerky, startled motion as you approach. But there's no fear in her, only reaction, instinct, only readiness to strike.
Fatebinder wants beast woman?
The reek of an unwashed feral animal, bloodied and battle-worn, swathes you like a wet blanket. You breathe through your mouth to keep from retching. Any good hunts lately?
Good, yep. And many more than 5.
Each woman flexing curls her claws in the air, the pitch blackness of them suddenly striking. A stark reminder of their power, their ability to kill.
Waded up deep, murky stream near disfavored camp. Paw pawed in mud of bank, but did not leave tracks. Crept low and quiet to tent flap, scenting with tongue. Caught ironclads and dragged, squirming like hurt rabbits, into cold black depths of river.
She grins, boastful and filled with bloodlust.
Disfavored cannot swim like beast woman, only can sink.
If you're going to follow me, I'd like to know more about you. Hills and Shadow puffs her hairy, naked teats out. Yeah, thank you.
Best hunter.
She boasts, scratching one idly.
Am last of tribe. Tribe who killed king vipers, Alarion, and thorn stags extinct. Am alpha. Brood mother. Can smell earthblood like mystic. What else does Alpha to Kills and Shadow long to know?
Hills and Shadow, that's an interesting name.
Best hunter is clever hunter. Stalk slow and soft. Pat, silent. Strikes fast. Kills without hesitation.
Clearly whoever did their voice had some fun. Don't take this wrong way, but you seem like a born killer.
Did not kill out of mother's womb. All whelps suckle first, learn later. Beast woman's first blood was in second season after birth.
I'd like to know more about your tribe. Ah, so I don't have enough of a reputation. How'd you end up with the Stone Stalkers?
Am not Stone Stalker.
Beast Woman snarls. She bristles, flexing her back and shoulders before settling back on her haunches.
Lost tribe. Left Haven lands. Migrated east. Was alone long time. Hunted many humans. Killed. Raged like undying fire. And found pack of stone whelps. Caitiffs, outcasts of tribe who needed Alpha.
Could your tribe have been that different? I've run afoul of many a beastman in my day, and I find nothing that distinguishes their savage numbers.
Stay and see. We'll think kills in shadow memorable when insides are being ripped, slow dripping from iron-clad shell.
You're not a Stone Stalker. Why were you leading a pack of beastmen from that tribe?
Is true. Am shadow hunter from Haven lands, but am last of tribe.
She dips her head in thought, long tongue leaving dried blood from her bottom lip. She worries the lip between her fang and bright, fresh blood beads anew.
After tribe was slain, kills in shadow loped to stone lands, stalking on long hunt for disfavored, but soon became needed by weak whelps, by stone stalkers who had been slaves and had not learned how best to fight. Lead conversation. Beast woman will follow.
I want your opinion on something. Beast Woman rises up in response, lumbering over you. Pale scars cut stark against her dark pelt. She inhales a sharp, deep whiff. Her bird peels back up with sharp fangs.
Fatebinder's smell weakens, dims as strength dies. It's good to ask Beast Woman for advice. Even strong Alpha needs cunning of Bulwark at side.
Bulwark, the ranking second in command of a beast tribe, a position often held by the most savage of beast women. Bulwark's primary responsibility is to enforce order and obedience within the tribe and carry out the Prima's commands. The small structure of a pack performs these duties loyally to the Alpha. Okay. What do you think of others in our pack? Oh, and not enough reputation.
Lead conversation. Beast Woman will follow.
Okay, well, she's just crazy. Got a missive back. May knowledge survive. You unfurl the message to see your reply from earlier. Whether the original sender is lost or dead is unknown, but what is clear is that the carrier bird that first delivered word from the Sage L was unable to find its original sender, so it circled back to you with your undelivered missive. Okay. Lantry, got that ability, right. Gotta level up with Ebb. So, trying to figure out what Ebb's abilities are. So, Tidal and Gravelight. Slowly drown. Flexion apply to Ebb, have the durations reduced. Helpful. Frost healing. Burst damage by magic staves. Or staves, however you want to pronounce it. Gentle waters wash for the target, removing a random hostile effect. Ooh, that could be nice. Spider repels foes in a cone, pushing each of them back a fair distance. Ebb is not taking her recovery time is reduced, and she strikes twice with her normal attacks. Being hit removes this bonus for a few seconds. Gain a bonus to all shock and frost damage dealt. When Mother's Embrace erupts... okay. Effects are afflicted with drowning. Okay, so from going from the one to everybody. Once more encounter what else he was critical, she triggers a nova of repelling waters to surge upwards around her, pushing foes back. Creates a thick fog that reduces enemy accuracy and grants a bonus to the party's subterfuge. Spells and abilities gain a larger effectability. Summons water from the target's blood and tissue, then erupts out of them in a surge, dealing massive damage in the process. Right, has a bonus of movement speed. Nova Flyer repels on her, pushing them back a fair distance. Okay, and then the Gravelight It hits nearby enemies. Grants bonus armor when Ebb is wearing light armor in combat. If targeting the armor violently, throws them back to the ground, dealing crush damage. Ooh! Foes take arcane damage and a portion of their lost health is drained back to Ebb. Defense creates a moderate. Yep, there we go. Present frightens nearby Bane. That could be useful. While in the party, Ebb and her allies gain more skill experience with lore, spells, and magic saves. Gravelight and Gravelight damage. Since they're a target in midair, they can only be hit by ranged attacks and can't move, attack, be stunned, or knocked down. Grants bonus lore and additional spell slots. Once per encounter, when critical explosion of Gravelight around her drains health from nearby foes. Interesting. So she's far more offensive mage, and I think that's okay. Let's see here. Do that. That's the drain. Wearing light armor. Stations are reduced. Yeah, we'll do that. The points that we need to give, let's see. Oh. Control Gravelight, skill 9 at 69. Nice. Alright, let's see. Good for a little bonus health. How about that? Now, go to inventory. What is she using? Well, I can equip that up. I did have a piece of gear. Where is it? It was an accessory of some sort, I think. Is it? Here it is. Give that to her. Also do a split there. I also need to go to my character. I then used some potions all in there, so let's go ahead and drop me some as well. You make sure I'm using light armor on her. Now it looks like when I did that, all of the gear that was on verse stayed on verse, if I had to guess. Building quite a little collection of spires, aren't we? Mrs. Narat was never one for keeping strongholds, but I can definitely see the appeal.
What do you need? And I seem to be missing a gang.
Be seeing you, Fatebinder.
I see as the crow flies.
Alright, so going back into here. Yeah, she keeps all the stuff there, so I actually need to remove stuff from her. So I have it for my group. Okay, so in future, I need to make sure that I remove anything that I don't need from her, so then other people can have it. Yeah, so whenever I take someone out of the party, I need to swap things out. Barrick, where did you go? There he is. Spire allows for such long and interrupted views. Barrick glances over the edge with hesitation and shivers. I find restraint limitations more to my liking, though it is nice to feel a breeze running through these plates of solid rust.
My Lord Binder, you have something which requires my attention? What can I do for you?
Suit up, Barrick, we're leaving.
If you would have me travel at your side, then I am not opposed to seeing more of this degenerate realm. Onward.
Goodbye to you too.
Alright. So wheat. Alright. East you can see the deep ashen clouds surrounding the burning library. To the west you see the shining spire of Lethian's Crossing. Okay, to our quests now. So we have the Stones of Elucidation. Oh, was there another? Oh, okay, so I still need to find another Stone of Elucidation, because I found one of them. Guess, yeah, what I was going to do is actually go to Sentinel Stand and breach the interior, wasn't it? All right. Probably not going to be any faster. Oh, yeah, it looks like it'll actually do a teleport there, so. Oop, and then run all the way around. And it's going to be nighttime, so Ebb is actually going to have a little bit of a boost in damage for her Gravelight spells. Missive. Jedi Freelance, do you remember your training under Blended Mark? I remember mine. Funny to think that you and I are about a century apart, but to Blended Mark we are all children. I'm now the oldest of the court's children. I have seen much in my time. It's probably for the best everyone assumes I'm old, worth shuffling away in the archives. But if I were scrutinized too closely, I'm sure Tunon would find I've grown lax in my spoiled old age. Part of why I'm here is that I've kept my head down. You appear to be doing the opposite. Some guards, this is beyond your control. You were chosen for the honor of proclaiming Kairos' edicts twice. To decline that would have meant death, but to accept means you've placed on the stage for all to see. Kairos' most powerful weapon, not the edict, is her ability to hand us rope that we are willing to use to hang ourselves. Never forget this. There are numerous questions nestled in your request. What is it you wish to know most? Focus your inquiry, and I shall answer the best I can. Fatebinder, Mythios. Okay. Inquire about edicts and their nature. Thank you for hearing me out. I have more questions than I have been, but let's start with a discussion of Kairos' edicts. I lived under, proclaimed, and resolved edicts, which show me far more knowledgeable than the layperson on the subject, and yet I still know so little. Send. The edicts are kind of nice because it's giving some world building without adding a lot of extra work on terms of the game devs, on top of what the game devs have been working on. So it is kind of cool to see that. is upon us, dying Skyblade. You! Skyblade coughs a couple times and clears his throat. Underestimating the force of Kairos, a smile plays on the edge of her lips. You will, Till. Looking forward to helping them stamp the rest of you out. I hope you bleed, she growls, and her eyes roll back as she comes to her wounds.
Have a look here.
It's trap detected, but they're all right there. My. Also not the proper formation I need.
More tallies to the body count.
Right. Will do. On it.
See that? I'm not entirely useless.
Watch and learn.
So on a subject that I've noticed, and this is purely on my part, other people will more likely disagree. I find it very odd that a lot more mature games use a lot more swearing in them, and I feel that that's a very weird. That's a weird choice to make. And once again, everyone has their own opinion on this. This is simply mine. When playing a mature game, I'm okay with mature themes. The thought of people dying, of going to certain lengths to do what they need. I mean, that just kind of comes with the nature of more mature things you see. But I feel like throwing out explanatives just for the point of doing that seems pointless, if that makes any sense.
I'll take a look. How hard could it be?
If you have characters, and this has happened very often when I'm seeing games, especially for this one, I've been seeing it a fair amount, especially with verse. Very crude, very basic language, and I feel it's very pointless just to cuss for the sake of it. I feel like cuss words should be to try to emphasize the severity of something, but when you use a severe word like the F word in all manners of your speech, it loses its teeth a little bit, if that makes any sense. It doesn't make it as pronounced as what it is if you didn't. Don't let these dogs cross the bridge. If the Unbroken breach the Sentinels stand before we do, we'll have every one of our vermin flogged bloody while the great general watches. Iron Guard, Rumelin grimaces and worries her throat, raw from barking orders over the fury of the storm. Welcome, Mate Row. Haven't seen you in a little bit. I'm not reporting to Ash unless we take Sentinel stand. That goes to everyone in my unit. We don't see Ironhearth, and we won't see home until our mission is complete. She pumps her fist twice in the air. Her soldiers reflexively mirror the gesture. Rally to that talking pillar of iron. Janos waves his weapon to direct the Unbroken. She can't hold the might of Stalwart back from our seat of power. I'm here to remind these Unbroken that Stalwart belongs to Kairos. Or Kairos and Ash. Rumelon pumps her fist in the air. Glad to see a new ally in the field. We're regrouping from the far side of the bridge. Clean up the Unbroken mess here and join us. Yeah, exactly. So, one example of that, we'll get to the fight in just a moment. I wanted to finish this thought. The one that really kind of turned me off was, what was it called? It was a looter shooter that came out recently. Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up now because I can't remember what the name is. Give me a moment here. Let me just look this up. Outriders. That's right. Outriders. I thought it was a cool game. It came up with some interesting, some interesting mechanics with it and stuff. But every time people talk, they threw around swear words. It made it very unappealing to talk to anybody. And I didn't play the game. I played the demo, and I liked the mechanics. I hadn't played Gears of War, so I hadn't played any kind of game. I hadn't played any kind of shooter that had like an actual defensive, hiding behind cover. Didn't have cover mechanics. And I don't think I really have played any games like that. I will in the future, I'm sure. Pretty sure Mass Effect has some, but they dropped the F-bomb all the stinky time. See, I just nearly did it. They just did it all the time, and it made the word pointless. I've watched bits of the Watchdog games. They swear like no tomorrow. It's like, yeah, sure, there's people in the world who talk like that. Doesn't mean it's like the best choice for you to do. And it just feels so... Once again, it seems pointless to swear so much. It takes it out of it. Okay, if you're playing a game and a character is bifurcated in half so they don't have their legs anymore, yeah, drop a swear or something, because that's a big traumatic thing. But you will never hear me try and swear on stream. The closest I'll get is... Yeah. Well, and if it's a parody of something, if it's satire, I can understand that. It still is pointless in my mind. But this is also coming from somebody who has grown up Christian and conservative, so I try to avoid swearing at all possible. The closest I will get is shite. And that is because that's more of a dumbing down that Irish people use and British people use at times. And that's because I've simply watched and listened to other streamers and stuff use that, because it's not considered as bad. I'll say bloody, which if any watches from the UK will probably get a little grimaced at, because that's one of their things. But yeah, and I'll use made up words. For those who know me, I'm big into Star Wars, and they have their own swear words. They Mandalorian, the Legend stuff. They have their own swear words. Star Wars has some like Kark and Kriff. Those are made up swears, and I'll use those because it actually doesn't mean anything as far as I'm aware. If it actually comes from a language, I do want to apologize, but as far as I know, it's made up. So in terms of swears, I will try to never swear on stream. If I do, it's because something horrible has just happened. Something that potentially has to end the stream, or is a life-changing event for me or something, then I might swear. But otherwise, there's no point in swearing in my mind. Let's see. Let's see if we can... Oh, that's actually not what I wanted to have you do. Oh, sweet, I can actually change the order of... Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Didn't realize I could actually change around the party list like that. That's wonderful. Now I can actually set people up how I want them to be. Yeah. And like I said, swearing can be used in very specific narrative tones, but there has to be a logical or exemplary reason for it. Otherwise, it is pointless, But I've got roommates, they'll watch they'll watch shows on Amazon or on Apple TV or whatever, and they drop the F-bomb in normal conversation. It's like, what's the point? You're just saying it to be edgy right now. You're saying it to cause shock, I think, more than anything else. There's no point in it, so.
Wrong weapon for the job. I need to try something else.
Time to change weapons.
I need to try a different weapon.
Okay, let's see here.
Will do.
You know, and sometimes things slipped out. It's yeah, I think that's the case. It's not as culturally significant to you. There's no link to you specifically. That's why it feels better to do it in other languages, or not as bad at least. I wonder if there's a whole thing on psychology about it. Aside from the fact of it, it's just something that happens. Unstructured sounds to shadows. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm gonna run over here because it looks like there's a. Oh, there is right there. Iron Walker armor. Okay. Ooh. Oh, but we can't actually give him anything. So can I do anything with it? Not really. It's heavy armor, so it's not exactly mages can use. Contact an artist? No, I just haven't gotten around to it. I've just been doing other things. Let's see, can I get down there? Oh yeah, I probably would have to run around over here instead. Get around and grab that stuff. No, it's just something that's just far more on the back burner than doing other things like looking for work or doing the stream itself. So.
Trouble is afoot.
Come over here. Looks like we have an Earthshaker that needs some help.
Got you now.
Will do.
Okay, Ray, thanks for the offer. I will let you know if that's the case. As of right now, like I said, it's very much low on the priority list, so.
I bring glory to my guild.
Ooh, that's actually really all affected the party staff to transfer health from enemies. Ooh, that's actually really nice. Renowned with Dauntless. Thank you for your help, Fate Binder. The soldier salutes you. What's going on? We've been cut off from our lieutenant, Rumalon. Dust himself off a bit. She said that she was trying to secure the bridge before we figured out how to push past the wind wall. That's over his shoulder frowns. The Unbroken won't stop until they pushed our troops for second stand. You must know that we're close to breaching Kairos' magic. Nods and sets his jaw. Back to the fray then. Raven Ash protects. Cloth sandals. Let's see here. Okay, nothing there. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like we're actually going to run across the bridge. There. Hey,
Can't do that.
come over here. What happens if I go down this way? Climb down the rocky slope. Now we're down here. Anything over here? We're way up by the look of it. Nothing else. Climb back up. Appreciate your help, but there's still a matter of this rust storm. Our troops won't be able to advance until this tornado is dispatched once for all. Show this to Vincent. I was told this artifact might clear the path through the storm. That thing looks more like a cloakpin from here. These winds haven't been too kind to my eyes. She nods towards the wind wall. If you can get us through the storm and into the heart of Sentinel Stand, I won't question the will of Kairos. Lead on, Fatebinder. Hold on, I still have things I want to loot.
Curious.
Here I am, being the little pack rat that I am.
Got it.
Cleansing charm. Immune to poison. Ooh. Immune to poison. Ooh. Ooh, my good man. Could use that. Let's see. You don't have anything on you, my good man, Lantry. Let's do that. We'll have you come down here.
Interesting.
Ah, I got the trap. Whenever they do that, I need to stop. Titan's Knuckle.
If only Stalwart had surrendered years ago.
To reaction
Such
content?
needless carnage.
I know that in recent months there has been a lot of drama about reaction comment. I think it depends. Because if it's just you reposting somebody's content, that gets really sketchy, and that's what a lot of the drama was. That people were just reloading other people's content up and making money off of it. If you were able, because I think the only other time of reactionary, well, I don't know if you'd actually call it reaction. There's a couple of YouTube channels that I followed in the past and now that do movie reviews, And they, of course, break back and forth between the points of, what the film is doing, the characters, the story, all that stuff. And I don't know if that's necessarily reaction stuff. What is the context of you asking that question, Ray? Is it further to ask the question of just my opinion on it, or would I ever do reaction content, or yeah, give me just a little context of why of that question. Here's my opinion on it. So I understand.
Send them at me in waves.
What the heck? What? Something attacking me? Oh, hello.
Sorry, I can't.
Oh, I can't have. Oh, okay. That's what the whole point of going over there was. Okay. I've seen other people who do it, but they do it a little bit more carefully. They actually will stop. They'll make funny jokes about what they see, or they'll make satisfactory comments on it. But it's never actually been called reaction content, though it probably could be. Would I do it myself? I could see potentially. However, I would want to be really careful with it, because I would want to make sure that the people who give me the footage I use gets proper credit, all that jazz. I would want to make sure that or at least make it in some way that the people who have made the content and I've reacted to it, if I was going to get money off of it, I would actually make sure that they got their cut, and it would be a majority cut because I'm not doing the work. But just in terms of how it is currently standing with reactionary content, I don't know. Yeah, I certainly wouldn't want to be one of the big people who's been caught in the controversy with it, like Sniper Wolf and stuff. I think reactionary content could be fun. However, I really would have to look at the ins and outs of it, because I am not well versed in reactionary content. I mean, the practice of grabbing somebody else's stuff and reacting to how it goes, I could see it being interesting, having your own take on it. I could also see where it could get very dangerous. There's a very blurred line with reaction content in terms of what happens. I am, of course, not a big streamer or influencer or content creator myself, so the reach I would have would be limited, but extremely limited, in fact. But I don't see a problem if finding, cool gaming clips or something, and being knowledgeable about the game in question and the mechanics involved. There's a channel that has done a lot of Destiny stuff, but has now been sinking into other content because Destiny has been falling apart, that does spicy clips, and they take people's spicy clips, things that are like really cool or game breaking or something, and they comment on it and they kind of react to it and score it. I think that would be kind of cool. However, I'm not one of those individuals who is extremely well versed in mechanics of things. I can look at a video and go like, oh, that's really cool, or I can point out that looks like AI video or something like that. Or I could watch wholesome content. I like doing that, seeing those videos of military folks making surprise visits home, surprise homecomings. Oh yeah, absolutely, adding my own touch and stuff. Unless because then it would be stealing. Yeah. Because what I think a lot of people talk about with reaction content is as much an idea of fair use, the fair use clause in copyright law, and all that is really blurred. So TLDR to bring everything back. I could have potential interest in it. However, I want to be really careful of what I would do to make sure that I'm not just stealing it. I would want to make sure that it would be something that I would actually be able to have some interaction with, some involvement, some spin on it that would allow me to actually use it in proper sakes. Okay, what do we got here? We got this dry well, so it has a rusted gear wheel. We either try to force the wheel or create a workaround. Let's fashion a workaround. I don't know if it did anything. I guess that would mean that would failed or something like that. Okay, so now we're going to see if this pin works. Do I have to be using it or something? Or do we just walk into it? Am I just... Okay, here we are. Now let's do a rust and dirt. Smells, closer currently stand would mean certain death. I've already tried peering in the storm. Let's use the steadfast insignia. Wind walls parts as you hold the steadfast insignia aloft. Dust and debris swirl around a cone-shaped absence projected before you, which stretch into a tunnel of breathable air. Cygnus jewels begin to glow brightly as if invigorated by this parting of the winds. Whatever dormant state the artifact occupied is now awake and full of new potential, should you desire to use it. Cool. So, it is now in my thing. Ah, and it actually becomes a... Oh, sweet. So it gives me 3 resolve, and when I get the artifact ability, grants nearby allies resolve and increased resistance to being knocked prone or pushed back. These effects scale with the steadfast insignia's renown. Interesting. Okay. Well, I would not say no to
This will be fun.
that on. Let us do a quick little check here on abilities. That's there, that's there, that's there. That's there, that's there. Okay. And then we have all of his stuff. What are we not really using? Quicken. Okay, I don't think we're going to do
Consider
anything.
it
Let's
done.
go ahead and travel to Sentinel Stand. Here we go.
The path remains open behind us, making way for friend or foe alike. Sentinel's stand has never been more exposed.
Okay, so now we're actually going to be getting into the battle structure of this. Whoa! Why are you backwards, my man? Let's not change that. Regent Skyblade. Can it be? A figure approaches through the storm. Regent Skyblade seems ready to approach and welcome you. Dawning realization comes to her expression. She hoists up her weapon in a stance of challenge. Announce yourself, invader. We haven't sat in the eye of the storm this long to become slaves of Kairos. Take us to Stratius Herodin. Varric advances on the guard with a menacing air. Don't want to hear any more of your petty threats or how much you love your country. Delivers the serpent at the heart of this nest. Whoa there, big boy. I just watched the storm all day. Stratius is behind the walls. He glanced in your direction with wonder. The insignia! Insignia lets out a startled yell. Someone bearing the Regent's insignia comes this way. He squints at you to make out the storm. Why have you come here, stranger? I'm here to end the edict of storms. The Regent will die. To arms! The sentry springs to action, yelling for help as she charges. Okay.
Send them at me and wait.
Yeah, so you're going to attack there. I'm going to run over forward and attack here. Let's have you, Eb, go after them. we'll swap now. Attack here instead. That... Ebb, you are going to attack this person. And Lantry,
Will
help
do.
her out. So we're just going to have to change the window size.
See that? Doesn't...
Okay, and they're down. Whilst the cube been beaten and chipped away by both the storm, the bitter clash between the disfavored and the unbroken. Okay, we'll look at our map here.
Found something.
Ah, keep walking right into the traps. It's so annoying. Here, should be able to go here.
As you command.
Keep forgetting I can actually cast spells outside of battle. I heard the blood of my countrymen being spilled. Don't think I haven't prepared to gut you where you stand, or that I'll hesitate to mount your head on the walls of this fortress. Out of my way, peon. No amount of stalwart rats can keep me from wrapping my hands around the Regent's throat. You're smart enough to recognize that standing here means the Regent's time is over. She pauses and regards you with new respect. You may be right, but I have a duty to protect the Regent and the dignity of my position. I won't hesitate to take up arms against you if you try anything right. She speaks as if the prospect gives her no pleasure. Wish that Harridan was more inclined to negotiate for a better option, but he's leaving that responsibility in Kairos' lap. I ask as if he can wait out the storm until it passes, but the rest of us aren't so sure. I think the Regent mistakes his place in the matter. He is the one who suspends this war with inaction. He will be only too happy to strip him of that distinction. Suggest you turn back the way you came, however it is you got here, and inform your superiors that we will not be budged. He hesitates and prepares to speak further. Voice bells from the other side of the protocol says, "Stay your weapons and raise the gate. I would speak with our guest." Looks over his soldier and frowns. "Step forward and present yourself then. Keep a respectable tongue, you won't have any trouble." Oh? Ah. Speak of the devil. Traitus Harridan. Starwood's ruler looks at you with a mixture of caution and amazement. His gaze lingers on the steadfast insignia. That explains how you're able to pierce the winds. But why have you come? Not to liberate an enemy, I think. Squints. Long isolation has taken its toll, but we aren't deaf to news of the outside world. I think I recognize a fate binder when I see one, so logic follows that you are a keeper of bedreams as well. Harridan! Merrick pounds his fist together hard enough to shake the earth. Come out and face us, coward. You've dodged this reckoning long enough. Regent blinks. Do I know you? Your face, or what little I make of it, eludes me. He sniffs and returns his attention to you. Your friend here seems a mite unstable for emissary work. You survived in the Overlord's prison for over a year. I live on, so the Regent's bloodline endures. Even the disfavored couldn't breach Kairos' wind wall when the edict crashed upon our heads. Though I'm less certain how you managed. Got you with a hint of resignation. You didn't travel this far to deliver terms of surrender, did you? The storm is destroying your people. Surely you must see the madness in prolonging the inevitable. Sorry to contradict you in front of the others, but they're not his people any longer. The Unbroken outside this keep curse his name. This the age-old fish diddler had grasp on reality. He had offed himself already. I'm not ignorant of my part in this equation. The edict can only be ended by the blood of the last regent, so as Kairos decreed. Must warn you, I haven't survived this long only to be cut down by Kairos' lapdog. I endured the war, this favorite suicide march, and the long isolation of the storm. I won't make it easy. What was that about a disfavored suicide march? In the second year of the war, my personal forces captured one of Craven Ash's elite legions. We divided their numbers for our own protection, some here, others to Duskwatch. Plans of bargaining with Ash for their lives. You preyed on the Archon's love for his troops, monster! War came to a, shall I say, climatic stalemate. when a disfavored force amassed around Sentinel's stand to drive us out and liberate our prisoner. The awful expression overcomes him, but he spells it with a shake of his head. The rest, as you know, is history. Before this favor could finish their desperate cry, the edict swept up my people in Ash's Legion like they were made of straw, battering bones and iron into so much dust that now swirls above our heads. I remember that day. I remember that day all too well. If you had but surrendered, then hundreds of Northerners and Southerners alike would have been spared. Stalwart bows to no one, you armadillo of rust and entropy. Harold grimaces at Barrack and shakes his head. Your presence alone dirties these noble offenses. What have you gained from this long stalemate beyond the hatred of your people? He hesitates to answer and then screws his face in a grimace. The people do not know what is best for Stalwart. We need a strong leader who understands the traditions of the realm, whose blood is part of that storied heritage. If they spite me for preserving our strength here in our lasting war, so be it. I did not accept this mantle for adoration. What have I gained? I've kept Stalwart alive in a self-imposed prison, whatever else you may think. The desperation to reach this place and end my life only confirms the righteousness of that decision, as hard as it has been. This edict you could have ended this edict long ago. You mean by suicide or execution at the hands of my countrymen? His expression withers. That will betray the dignity of my station, the honor of my soldiers alike. Caving to the Overlord's will, we will lose the very thing that makes Stalwart great, perseverance. I took no pleasure in watching storms ravage my country here from the safety of the eye. I've suffered the weight of that decision every day, but I would never second-guess it. Your burden is nothing minor, that of your people. To consign your country to this is unforgivable. When Kars called on Ash to submit, he chose his soldiers' lives over his pride. You are a coward. I'll say that you die like one. You are blind to reason. There's no recourse but to end your life. Our definitions of reason come from very different places, Fatebinder. As the Overlord's vassal, you are accustomed to one-sided negotiations, ultimatums that elude any open dialogue. By your standpoint, I must seem unreasonable indeed. He raises his voice for all to hear. As regent of the great realm of Stalwart, I eject you from our courtesy or invitation that holds you to these walls and banish you from my lands. Typical that the tenants of Kairos present no agreeable terms. We may distort the histories to reflect that I forced this confrontation, but everyone here will remember that when your overlord locked me into an impossible choice, I chose Stalwart. Harridan turns away and heads through the portcullis. Well, we knew how this was going to turn out, so let me see.
Company.
On your knees, worm!
On it.
Oh, God, a bit too much.
Will do.
Stalwart prevails! Our time together has not gone to waste.
On it.
I'm enjoying this a little too much.
See that? That's entirely useless.
On your knees, worm!
Says you can't teach an old dog a new trick.
Oh, watch and learn.
On your knees, worm!
On it.
Okay. You know, the fact that they've been
Right.
in the storm for this long, how did they get food and things like that? That never has gotten really addressed. Winch's battery appears barely functional. Looks like it could break at any moment. Jam a spear in to create a makeshift handle or use brute force to turn it. There we go. Glad I found that spear. In we go. Okay, we're in the Sentinel stand itself. Oh, wow. Look at that. Okay.
I got it.
Looks like I'm going to be fighting a lot of different folks here.
This weapon is useless.
I had to switch the weapon around from Dauntless to the big mace, because I think that's going to actually work better.
Will do. On it.
On your knees.
Right.
Watch and learn.
Right. Can't do that.
I think we bend that apart.
SCCO? I don't recognize that term. What do you mean? Echo. Not sure what you mean by echo. Are you getting it from the game or from me? The game sound is doubled. No, shouldn't be like that. Yeah, I don't know why there would be another thing of sound. That's very odd. Is there a delay, or does it just sound like it's like slightly off?
This
Interesting. Get back here.
Oh, he ran over their own trap. I'm not quite sure what that could be.
On it. You learn something every day.
However, it's something certainly to look into. So the only sound that should be coming in is the game capture. I have my headset mic, in the desktop audio, but the desktop audio is purely giving me the sound through my headphones. It shouldn't be giving a second option. Okay, let me go ahead and change something here. Maybe that'll change.
Graven Ash protects.
Okay, I changed something that might fix it. Let me know if it has. Ring calling? Plus 1 bronze ring on... Wow! After dealing a killing blow, a single bronze ring tumbles to the ground under ring blade. Smiths have attempted and failed to replicate this strange art. They gave it over time, theorizing that there's no special property to reproduce. The sword simply paid its wielder for services rendered. Oh, wow. That's cool. Well, I'm keeping that. That's amazing. Gives me money. Because what might have been happening is that I had the game capture and the desktop audio going at the same time. But I can't imagine that necessarily causing an issue because you're the best in fights. Okay, I will have to look. Has it happened in previous games or just this game? I think that's the biggest question I have. I also had the server crapped out at me about an hour and a half ago, and I had to restart the stream. So I wonder if there might be a secondary stream that's going on afterwards. I'm not sure though. I'm sad to hear that that's something like that's going on, because it shouldn't be.
Heads up, we have company.
Just this game? Okay. Well, I'll need to take a look at it then. I'm not sure what I can do at this point because I don't know what should be changing. Oh, is it good now? Oh, good. So yeah, so I ended up muting the output for desktop. Maybe that's what was doing it. Somehow was bleeding into the game capture. So if that fixed it, that's good. Fantastic. Then that's just for the future. I just need to remember that. Okay, let's see here. Ability spell cooldown. Let's do another point of accuracy. Oh yes, and I'm also giving it to... Yeah, I had 3 people level up. Ooh, including myself. Sweet. Then Lantry gets a point. There we go. And then for here, I needed to give Lantry one in the stage because I wanted to unlock this Voice of Ages. Watchers strikes, interrupting and lowering their physical... Oh! Yeah, that'll actually be pretty nice against these armored units. Do that one. Then for me, ooh, what am I going to choose for myself? And then we had the Steadfast Insignia came up. It gave us Steadfast Stand. Yep. Let's see here. I need to go to my character, Sunder.
I got it.
Okay, good. Back to my character. Back to the fight.
Not entirely useless. On it.
For the job, I need to try something else.
I got it.
Stalwart prevail!
Take that.
Are you afraid of death?
I got it. This weapon is entirely worthless. I got it. On it.
Okay. Now. So I went up there. Got everything I needed there, I guess.
On it.
There's something up there. Massive spikes of stone flare out from the ground where Storm was. A magical power ripped through this terrain. Stormer soldiers ripped from their bodies are now encased in stone, the silent effigies of Kairos' wrath.
Can't do that.
Earthshakers. Woohoo! Make for the keep. The Rachel is in retreat. To me, fall back and defend the keep at all costs.
I got it. Interesting. More tallies to the body count. I got it.
Take me if you can!
Right.
See, so what happened earlier is that the server had, the connection to the server had dropped off, so the stream got cut out. So I had to try, and so I had to close out OBS to get that to work again. But when it popped back up, whenever OBS gets closed down for a reason other than while the stream is going, it always asks to start normally or start in safe mode, and I always have it start normally. It seems to cause issues sometimes, so I think it resets some settings or something like that, which is weird. So I'm pretty sure that's the reason why it's
I'm out of practice.
because I believe I had that setting. I believe I had that setting made normally, so it was monitored out, but it had resolved itself to a previous setting or something. I don't know. Climb the rope. Gonna run all the way over here to that chest. Couple bits of hide. Cool. Back down.
Yes.
Already got that. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Another demonstration.
Because it's faster.
Power seems in order.
Harsh words would cause more harm than this useless weapon.
Stalwart prevails! On your knees, worm!
Sorry, I can't. I got it.
Come and feast my iron!
On it.
I need to try to protect it. This isn't working.
I need to try a different weapon.
Time to change weapons.
Is that ink? No, wait, it's blood.
Wrong weapon for the job. I need to try something else.
Will do.
Death, worm! Can I hit anything?
I'm not built for this.
On it. I got it. I got it.
Okay. It's now 3:15.
I am out of practice, but I'll try.
Lucky, it says. Ah, critical deflection and hit precision. This one has haste. Let's see if we can take down Sentinel Stand in the last 45 minutes of the stream. I've been waiting a long time to finish what we started, Regent. You sat in your cowardice and shame long enough, haven't you? He draws his weapon. If you beg me for death, I'll make it painless. If you want to see me on my knees, you'll have to prop up my corpse for the delight of your inbred cohorts. Don't speak to me of cowardice or bravery. This favored needed cowardice is arcana to prevail in the end. I'm sure that an army of lice-bitten rats have succeeded in those odds on their side. We took a legion hostage, and it didn't have the nerve to meet us on the field of battle. Coward. Beatrice advances them. I will earn Ash's favor when I bring him your head. No one in Stalwart will weep for your demise. Just demeanor shifts and catches your eye. So the Fatebinder joins the fray. Must not like your odds if you brought so much backup. Time is impeccable, Fatebinder. Gestures to Harridan. Let's put down this sick dog together. Sentinel Stand will go to this favor. Oh, let's see. You should have done the right thing and ended the edict yourself, Stratus. This is on you. I will not stand here and count. It's another moment of your judgment. If acting in the interest for Stalwart, if I die today, I die a patriot. The only patriots here are those of us who to ram the disfavored standard up your creaky stern. Come on, let's end the edict together, old man. Beatrice and his soldiers advance.
Enough.
Okay, so.
Another battle.
Everyone's jumped on him. So let's see if we can favor the odds. Even the odds just a little bit.
We're bad at making friends.
Take me if you can.
Where was that leech armor ability? Yeah, Withering Touch. Oh, that wasn't it. It was this one. Yes.
Before me.
I did that. Nice.
On it.
Pay attention, kid. You might learn something.
Stalwart prevails!
I got it.
This weapon is entirely worthless.
Stalwart prevails!
Will do.
This isn't working.
Right.
This weapon is entirely worthless. Now it's done.
On it.
Come and face my iron. Why can't I hit anything?
This weapon is entirely worthless.
Right.
Surrendered. Alright. Regent lies on the ground, bloodied and defeated. He extends his good arm and drops his weapon. Well, I had the breath to spend to find you, but I fear the fight has left me. What a moment to witness. The last of the stalwart defense is shattered under his favorite boot. Beatrice beams with pride and rears back to kick Harridan in the head. Stops him. I'll give you the honors. Let's kill this wretch and put an end to the edict at last. Charges soldiers moves between him and Harridan and Terry her helmet. I won't let you do this. Amelia? Is that you? Beatrice's hands nearly falls from the hands as he salutes. Harlow recognized you. Why are you fighting with the Regent's personal guard? Graven Ash protects. She aims evil with her. Those are words I don't hear often anymore. Come into my father's service, then prepare to be disappointed. I'm not the Northern Warlord I once was. Once at the very thought. Seeing out the conflict made me see the conquest from a different perspective. Looks to you with a plea in her hands. You were wrong. Kairos led us from the right path centuries ago. We marched south to finish the Overlord's work, but... Mr. Hansen, don't you see that tears are the last chance for us to make this right? Amelia, you don't have to say anything further. Why are you fighting for Stalwart? Because Stalwart has a fighting chance of winning back their independence. Because we invaded this realm on the mad whims of a tyrant. Because of many reasons. You were a prisoner. What happened? There's no time for a story. Not while we have blades pointed at each other. If any of us survives this, which I expect is unlikely, I'll tell you everything. But right now, you need to stand down and back away from the Regent. Regent is beaten. The keep is ours. Will you cooperate? Never. I know what atrocities you and the rest of Tunon's ilk are capable of visiting upon us. I know what my father does to traitors and deserters. My father... Her voice catches and she takes a moment to find her words. I love my father, but it's nothing compared for the love I felt for the father of... Amelia, please be silent. Stradius looks at her. It's over. You understand? I'm dying. Save your strength for more important things. Oh, dear. You will resolve this question. I knew you know he's almost lost too much blood to maintain. I'm the last of the Regents. I mean to end the Edict of Storms, then accept my fate. For action that is favored, I vow to give you a clean death. To be sure, it's more than he deserves. Strike him down, Fatebinder. Before you can take action, you catch Amelia raising her weapon from the corner of your eye. Amelia, stop! Stradius winces, hardly assessing the situation. You have to keep your promise, remember? Focused, determined air from Amelia falls to resignation. She delivers a curt nod and leaves the room, darting you a killing look on your way out. Amelia disappears into another room, unwilling to watch what's about to unfold. Kill the Regent Fatebinder. Let's put this shameful chapter of the conquest behind us, along with the Edict of Storms. First, a final look at Stratus Paradin. You should be proud, Regent. In death, you'll accomplish more than you ever did in life. Excuse me if I disagree, you northern pig. Take up a fallen sword from the sword and drive it through the heart, killing him instantly. Stradius' body falls to the ground, and you watch the blood pool into the floor in silence. There is a feeling of anticipation in the air. As the seconds pass, it never materializes into anything. A surge of arcane energy and sense of relief you experience in such a hall is missing. You hear the howl of the storm outside and realize that the edict endures. Nature's first is browsing confusion. The last of the Regents is dead, and yet Kairos' storm continues. What could he possibly have missed? All you hear a faint cry, a baby's cry. Realization dawns on you. Yep, that's what I figured.
Will do. Found something.
Made this even harder. Amelia, blocking the doorway, Amelia regards you with eyes that brim over with tears. It blazes the hints of her father's grim resolve. She has armored herself in his favorite agreement to face you down. Stay away from my daughter. You will not have her. Oh no. Oh, by Archon's mercy. Don't let this be so. Your daughter is the Regent's heir? Now that you've killed Stradius Paradin, she is. Herself up and glares at you. She has nothing to do with Kairos or the Edict. You have no right to judge her on the basis of blood. How is this possible? My union with Stradius was younger. Even remembers Amelia didn't shed her warlike resolve. He showed me kindness behind these walls and taught me that stalwart in the tears, the culture and heritage, these people the pride of the realm. He died in the third year of the conquest. His favorite spear pinned him to the ground. He fought to defend. He never rose again. Did you know this would prolong the edict? We suspected the bloodline would implicate my baby in Kairos' eyes, but knew nothing for certain until this moment. Don't ask me to interpret the Overlord's heartless design. I have no love for this edict, if that's what you're asking. It's torn the realm to pieces, fractured pillar of their culture, and ruined countless lives. But I have a responsibility to the people of Stalwart to preserve their heritage and leadership. My father and the other Archons destroyed this nation. She glanced back at the crib and then quickly focuses back to you. We can help put it together. What a naive notion. I had thought better of you, but this shows nothing but contempt for all those favored accomplished and sacrificed in the conquest. Demetrius shakes his head with disapproval. Regent remained in sentinel stand for her protection. The edict was his responsibility to shoulder, not hers. Tips her head down in challenge. My daughter will not be another victim of Kairos' conquest. She has the blood of the North coursing through her veins, and no one has the right to take her life. Calm yourself, Amelia. There must be another way. Another way? He just shakes his head. Amelia turned her back on the Legion. The general has no place for this disloyalty, no matter whose blood flows in their veins. All the same, if you can guarantee my daughter's life, I will return to Ash and submit to judgment. Ours as it will be. It still leaves us with the matter of the edict. What could we possibly do about the Edict of Storms? Regent blood flows through my daughter's veins. Perhaps there's a way to circumvent Kairos' law. I must research the matter. You might be onto something. There's a rich tradition of getting around these types of formalities, especially during a time of war. The only competent resources I would recommend are the Burning Library and Tunon's Court. Should we not enforce Kairos' law rather than go around it? Either way, I'll remain here with my men until I come to a decision. I recommend you speak with General Ash about the matter. Thank you for looking into the matter. I'm sure if no one else will elude a fate binder of Tunon for long. Stay here with my daughter. We have nowhere elsewhere to go anyway. Well, curse you, Obsidian, for making me have the choice of killing a baby? Jeez. That's just...
Sorry, I can't.
That's just dark.
Right.
Scroll, Sigil of Volleys. Sigil of Staggering. Research drug recipe. This partial recipe shows the process of creating a powerful drug, but more research is needed to fill in the recipe's gaps. This research can be made with a Spire library upgrade and the proper materials. Faithful Promise. Wait a moment here. Change that around. This region has always ruled this throne and so for the last 500 years, an unbroken bloodline that has survived through numerous generations. Okay, well, now we've got another problem. Jeez.
Can't do that.
My guessing is that had I tried to kill the baby, number one, I'd be a monster for real. And number two, Amelia would stop at nothing. I'd probably have to kill her. I don't want to do that. I'd rather get Amelia back to Ironheart. So, let me see here. My Northerners sing of your accomplishments. Thank your good fortune for the court back in the way of tears. Let's talk about Amelia. My Amelia, what have you learned? I can sense that she yet still lives. I'm blind to all else. Tell me that you know what the anticipation drives me to madness. What say would you then? She bridges the gap between the North and South by mothering a female heir. What are you saying, Fightbinder? My Amelia's too noble to lay with a southern wretch, much less willingly bear his polluted offspring. No, some fabrication, a joke at my expense. I cannot. Ash squeezes his eyes shut, shakes his head vigorously. No, no, no. The very idea repulsed me beyond all measure. And you, Fightbinder, he bears down you with madness eyes. If you breed slander and atrocity of this fort, then I would instruct Tunon to strike your head from your lawful neck. Do you hear me? His bellows with such force that spittle wets his beard, and the cords of his training yard turn with panic in their eyes. Ash cuts off his speech and holds his rigid position. Throughout the prolonged silence, you aren't sure if he plans on swinging his mace in a white arc or simply exploding from tension he fights to repress. Vein rises from the crest of his scalp, slowly recedes as Ash calms his breathing. Speak no more of these lives. I won't have them poisoning the air of Ironheart in the ears of my fellow countrymen, or a fool to think I believe such an obvious ruse. Ash regards you with uncertainty, his eyes searching for truth or contradiction. Her child is at the center of Kairos' edict. There must be some way to help them. He holds your gaze with flat, even focus. Ash takes a deep breath through his nose, filling his lungs and swelling his chest until he's expanding significantly in your vision. When he releases his breath, he comes out deflated and resigned. Then you aren't joking. I hardly believe that my daughter would be capable of such atrocity on my legion, much less on the family. If what you say is true, then she has brought shame to this legion and created my family line with the product of some great miscalculation. No. She is beyond my mercy. We'll end this edict, kill the child. Kill it anyway, for that I care. My daughter, my Amelia, died in the second year of the conquest. As will tell myself, Fightbinder, even I must scream it before resting my head and again upon waking. I will hold rituals of mourning until I can make it so, because death is nothing to the alternative that you hurl my face like poison. His face reddens as he regards you with open distaste. Very well, I won't push the matter. Nor should you. Now, if we're ready to discuss more civilized matters, I would welcome the opportunity. Farewell. Well, crap. I'd rather go a little bit merciful way. So, I believe Lantry had an option. What was this? End the storms. Senior fate binders of Tunan's court may know more about the intricacies of unbroken lines. Okay. Well. Entry?
One moment, my friend. Just let me finish this thought. Of course. How can I help?
Taking lots of notes. What about?
All kinds of things. My mind is old. Memory's a sieve. Keeping track of you. Noting what I hear of the war. Scribbling down reminders to myself. That sort of thing.
Is it safe to be right on your arm that much?
Oh, certainly not. But it depends on the ink I'm using. Too much cerulean and I can't sleep. But just the right amount and I can write all night. The red ink will give you swamp bottom if you drink it, but absorbed through the skin, it'll make you taste colors and smell music. Speaking of which, I should change out my tip.
Lanchi, you're a nut, and I love you for it.
I use 3 kinds, sepia, cerulean, and a red that's never the same shade. My recipe needs work. I like having 3 colors, but they also provide different states of mind for writing.
Something else.
I am nothing if not a semi-reliable font of knowledge.
Okay, well, let's head back to Bastard City and see if we can find something in Tunan's court. So we run over to the mountain spire. Even in the midst of the war between the Archons, travel along the long concrete roads of the Bastard Tier tends to be relatively safe and uneventful. The river meanders slowly aside the road, plains sweep openly before you towards distant towering mountains and a hazy gray line of the old walls on the horizon. From your vantage atop a rise, you can make out a far-flung settlements and small stands of trees. On a log off the road ahead, you make out a young tiersman, not quite a woman grown, working an object in her hand. She spies you, she leaps to her feet, waving to capture your attention. Speak with her. The girl smiles warmly as you approach, though the expression falters slightly when she sees your heraldry. Tall and a little tad lanky, the waif boasts an unkempt mop of brown hair, large eyes the color of unpolished peridot, which is yellow, kind of gold, so maybe amber eyes? Maybe that's how you'd see. She asks you if you are interested in a trade. The item she scavenged from a handful of rings she needs to purchase some chickens. Bends the object proudly, wrapped in a long sheet of plain cloth. She's surprised it's a well-kept blade of expertly wrought iron. And examine the sword. You ask the woman to see the blade more closely, and after eyeing you suspiciously for a moment, she passes you the weapon. Eric steps forward the moment you begin to unwrap it. By the great general! This is his favorite blade, and here! Gesture has a symbol stamped on the sword. This is the mark of the Forgebound. Who made it? She turns to the girl. Where did you find this? He asks, striding towards her as she strains before him. Purchase the sword. 10 rings? That's not much. Give the girl a thin cord thick with rings in exchange for the weapon. She thanks you profusely, tying the cord around her neck and tucking the rings beneath the neckline of her tunic. Ask her where she got the blade. She explains that she found the sword in a stand of trees among the fields an hour ago or so in the road. You know that's an area you likely would never have visited otherwise. Said you've had little to comb every stretch of the woods from here. Promise of a little more iron. You take the sword and continue on, putting the waif behind you. Okay. So we don't want to talk to Tuna, but we want to find somebody here. It's difficult to separate fact from superstition when it comes to edicts, as it seems Kairos knows how it all works. The rest of us are left to live in fear and ponder it all. Kairos edicts are a sort of magic above and beyond even the Archons. I dare say the edicts are stronger than Kairos. There's no evidence Kairos can willingly stop an edict once set in motion, which is in part why Kairos edicts seem to have an until or unless clause in their wording. I know the edict, as powerful as it is, requires a human voice to complete the casting. Thus, the Overlord has people like you proclaim edicts cast far from the Imperial throne. The magic is Kairos magic. But the human voice is the final carrier or trigger to complete the magical phenomenon. And here's what's most fascinating, at least as far as you're concerned. There have been dozens of mortal agents who have been made to proclaim edicts. 2/3 of them die within a decade. Many gave reports of lingering mystical scars from the ordeal. And there's also been a handful to resolve or break an edict. Those until and unless clauses get fulfilled from time to time. We see a similar pattern in history. Those who resolve an edict often live short lives, and many speak of arcane side effects of the shattered edicts. Oh, something Birch said in a previous episode that I did said she was surprised that I was still standing, or that my ears hadn't been scarred from magic. This is confirming it, rather than some superstition. Here's where you're unique. To the best of my fact-finding, you were the first to proclaim and break the exact same edict. Whenever mystical power is involved in the creation or the destruction of such magics, you were the first to stand at the terminus of both. Now that I know that spires can be awoken, it makes sense that if anything can or would wake from slumber or shattered edict, likely the likely culprit. Kairos has other edicts in place through the tiers. If you truly wish to learn more, perhaps you should take it upon yourself to shatter those edicts. After all, if Kairos did not wish for the edicts to be broken, why include a termination clause? Ask about the spires. Dear Mythios, it seems wise to know one's own domain, and seeing as I am now the master of the Mountain Spire, I ought to learn all that I can. If you would share with me what you know of the spires, I would be in your debt. I'll start from what I know and have observed so far. The Mountain Spires seem to awaken at about the same instant the Kairos Edict of Execution was put to rest. There was an burst of arcane energy that drowned out my senses, and I woke at the summit of the spire in what seemed to be just a few heartbeats of time. Atop the spire is an old sculpture of sorts, and it seems to be the core of the spire's mystical energy. Seeing visions and receiving sensations from the sculpture, it seems odd to describe it as talking to me. That seems the closest analogy. Am I the first to report such things? There are other spires in the world, correct? Okay.
Will do.
Oh, hang on a second. Circumstances were whose madness, Your Honor. No one would expect an act in a rational way. No, perhaps I expect too much of my servants. Is that it? No, Your Honor. If you hear my testimony, I think you'll understand. But I see a better alternative has presented itself, Fatebinder. Fatebinder, will you audience this case in my stead? I'm curious what manner of conclusions you draw. I'm ready to hear the case. Excellent. The testimony will begin. I'm afraid it's a sensitive matter. I was away from the city, seeing to a military camp, where I discovered 2 Scarlet Corps soldiers defiling a woman. A local from the tiers? Yes, and as it was a common occurrence in that army. I couldn't stand for it. I was brought to know better. I was taught to be better. What happened next? I fought the recruits. They fought back, but in the end my skills won out. After they were both dead, I let the poor woman go. Their gang boss witnessed everything, though we didn't intervene until I was all done. I was trussed up and brought back to court in a wagon, where you find me now. What fine company you made on the journey over. Gang boss spreads his lips open in a toothy grin. The defendant is charged with the murder of subjects who are owed the protection of Kairos' law. Fatebinder, assume you wish to cross-examine? To Tunon, why is the victim of assault a matter of concern? She is an innocent of the tier. She has no rights under Kairos' law. It's a simple murder trial, and the defendant stands before you. Caution against burning yourself with extraneous variables. Yikes. Okay. Well. Gang boss didn't intervene at all? If my recruits couldn't defend themselves against the glorified clerk, then their lives were forfeit as far as I was concerned. Good riddance. Still happy to get satisfaction out of the matter. The law is the law. All I did was joke about how the court would be merciless. Laughed all the way to the past. He doesn't seem particularly bent out of shape over his lost men. That sounds about right. Did you speak with the tears woman? Only briefly. She thanked me before fleeing. Didn't want to keep her. She suffered enough of those hands. Hands of those soldiers. I don't think she said anything about wishing to join the army. That's the frank curiosity. For army? Not that I... And she definitely wasn't in the area for that very purpose? Her eyes widened as she realized your intent to fake bite or not. That's right. She only mentioned it in passing, but she told me that she was attempting to make contact with the Scarlet Chorus. You know, to join them. That's when the soldiers attacked. I hope this has a point. Has a point, Fatebinder. Do you regret your actions? No, if my position were reversed, I would have wanted someone to step in on my behalf. Kairos' laws be damned. That's a tune with momentary unease. Suppose I could keep my distance from the Scarlet Chorus in the future. Might not be able to restrain myself if I saw this happen again. I'm ready to give my ruling. Very good. Present the verdict and let's be done with this unpleasant affair. If the woman intended to join the Scarlet Chorus, she was protected under Kairos' laws. Your actions were just. She delivers a bow of gratitude, holding her eyes contact the entire. Thank you for hearing my case. All right, Ray. Yeah, thanks. I'll see you sometime, all right? Paper Furio, you have ducked Kairos' punishment with a technicality. Be more mindful of your delicate position in the future. Grasp of Kairos' law troubles me. Reeks of independent thoughts honed beyond the principal walls of my court. And yet it is your ruling. Dismissed. So these are the Fatebinders. These are the people who... Fatebinder, you return. This looks you up and down with an inscrutable inspection. You look as if you have questions for me to untangle. Ask. I am feeling generous. Do you know anything about the laws of succession, Stalwart? The realm of mad nationalists to the south? Their customs are beyond my purview, but you might ask another brood. I know that Callie has been looking into your history with interest. What can you tell me about the past Archons? Much of that is known. It's been lost regarding the first Archon of Frost, but his talents were improved upon by 3 fallen Archons. Sisters born together and never since seen apart. It said Rana, Narabel, and Slayer were so cold at birth that they were thought stillborn. Farewell. Okay, this is Callio, and this is Nuval. Okay. So there's freelance. I see you've returned to the fold. Your exploits in Vidrin as well are a matter of some discussion. Fatebinder Balance regards you with a discerning eye, and for a moment it feels that she is trying to peer into the very depths of your mind. What can I do for you? Has anything happened while I was away? There have been whispers that Karen grew disloyal to Ashgrave's commander in the campaign in Azure. I took up the mantle of investigation in your Planescape, and judging the rumors to be true, dispatched Karen by proclaiming Kairos' Edict of Stone. The very earth turned against the traitors Archon, as the region itself split asunder in righteous judgment. Do you know anything about the laws of succession, Stalwart? Funny you should mention it. Just the other day I was poring over some old text in the basement of a municipal building. We would do well from learning these southern customs, even as we dismount. What do you need to know? Can a baby of royal blood cede the right to the throne? Not exactly, but their mother might be able to. She raised her brow in interest. There's a story behind it if you're interested. Lots of Stalwart issues involve stories. Let's hear it then. Old Stalwart was ruled by tradition and oft-times twisted sense of national identity. Stories they held in high esteem set most of the precedent. That's why a lot of their legal documents contain fables or family histories. They gave the people a reason to follow the law, beyond the law itself, I mean. What's more, any practice could be overturned if it was judged outside of their sense of cultural identity. I'm getting to the good part, I promise. Go on. A few generations back, the High Regent of Stalwart was Queen Hadrian. She birthed to her husband a pair of daughters, Lucanon and Tatian. Lucanon was the stronger of the two, but she was second birth. The rule of Stalwart would fall to Tatian. Queen Hadrian was having none of it. She wanted the strongest of her blood to sit the throne of Stalwart. Being wise in law, she concocted a plan. She bribed an archivist to draw up an old fable. The details of the story were similar to her own, though not so close that would draw suspicion. I won't bore you with the details, but the story ended with the fabled queen making a simple statement to cut off an infant's right to the throne of Stalwart. Thankfully for Queen Hadrian, the story was convincing enough that people bought into the new tradition. Lucanon later died to a wasting disease, but that's a story for another day. Do you know the statement? Do you know the statement she made? Sure do. She clears her throat. I, state your name, formally abdicate my son's or daughter's claim to the region of Stalwart, dissolving all ties, compacts, vassals, and holies. We forfeit all protection and advantages given by the ancient bloodline. Regents were usually a little more dedicated to their pomp and circumstance, but in this case, I think they wanted to get the job done fast. Farewell. Well, now, it looks like we have a hopefully more passive in terms to the nasty case of Amelia's daughter. So, let's run back to Sentinel Stand and finish this up, and hopefully that will be the end of that, and that will be the end of the stream as well. So. Mindbender, have you come up with anything? Abdicate your line. As Regent Mother, you have the authority. You must merely say the words. Hope reflects in her expression for the first time. It's truly simple as that? Clerical formality to spare an innocent life? She huffs it as much surprise as derision. If this works, I'll owe you more than you can possibly pay. Here, the edict damaged this trinket, but you might still find it useful. I, Amelia, formally abdicate my daughter's claim to the Regency of Stalwart, dissolving all ties, compacts, vassals, and holdings. We forfeit all protections and advantages given by the ancient bloodline. She pauses. Is that enough? Silence descended upon the halls. For a moment, it seems as if the winds outside have halted their dance. A loud crash against the door breaks the stillness. Outside, the storm begins to whip around furiously, sending dust and debris into the chamber. What? Oh, come on. First, you think his force of arcane power dissipating is enough to carve the skin from your bones, a sensation you attribute to the Edict of Storms, but it cools just as quickly. Ah! Break the edict. There we go. The winds buffeted the keep have abated. Outside, an eerie silence pervades the air. Stillness that hasn't visited Stalwart for a long time. You can hear the very symbols that brought the orbs into being, each syllable proclaiming itself from a newfound corner of your mind. Seeing the edict is now a part of you. Thank goodness it worked. You spared my daughter. Here I am to the cruelty from the servants of Kairos. Lilia looks at the crib. Now we have a chance of what might never have been, life outside of these walls. My father can be severe and uncomfortable. I'll turn to Ironheart and his protection, at least while the conflict persists. Hopefully he isn't so consumed by war that I can't still kill him as man and father. I always appreciated them more than the Archon. I regret none of the decisions I've made to get here. We disagreed on that much, but my daughter will be safe. Stalemate between the Unbroken and his favorite is an end. Victory that kept measured by rings. Thank you, Fatebinder. I'll remain at Sentinel Stand to secure this location. Send word to Ash of your excellent work. Whew.
On it.
Good.
Ah, got it.
Okay. I'm not going to read that. I will read that next time. But we will call that good for today. Wow. Okay, so we did two things. We ended up getting the artifact. We got another artifact called Dauntless. Great looking glowing sword that's currently sitting on Barrack. And we also solved Sentinel Stand. We found the Mountain Spire. Found out that I actually like having Ebb in the party a little bit more. At least then I don't have all the cursing from verse. Cursing verse. Oh, there we go. There's a way to go about it. And we have found a slightly more agreeable result and finish of the Edict of Storms. So that will be the second edict that we have destroyed now. Depending on how this goes, looking at the quests here, so I can try and get Lethian. Probably will go try doing the Vedrian thing. We will of course resolve the thing here with Sentinel Spire, but we will then go and do the next Spire and figure out things from there. We'll see where it continues. So we will call that good for today. And hopefully tomorrow the stream will go just as well. Okay, everybody. Say goodbye. Take care.